So take a walk with me into George Rodrigue, The River is the Road, at the Alexandria Museum of Art. I am really happy to share it with you all. I have just finished another tour. Boy, it was great. Look at George here. I know, he would love this. I took that picture, by the way, in our garage in California as he was painting. This is a very early landscape. Cypress. George didn't paint too many cypress trees. He said they weren't interested in because they were like sticks. He had painted that to the frame too. And this is, boy, a true classic. George Rodrigue's Boudreaux in a Barrel. We have a whole separate video on this painting alone, so be sure and watch it. But just briefly, this is George's mama. She lived to be 103. She was born in 1905. Marie Curated Rodrigue, and this is his daddy. George Godfrey Rodrigue Jr., born in 1899. Oh, and this is really cool, y'all. This is the little photograph that George, he photographed this cluster and used it to create this painting and then design the land around them. We've got some other great Cajun paintings in this show, all from the book, The Cajuns of George Rodrigue from 1976. These are all early 1970s. John Courage's Pirogue, so great. And also Jambalaya, which I just had cleaned. Isn't it beautiful? I can tell you about cleaning, y'all. I didn't even know this tree was here. I know. It is beautiful. So that's the 1970s. This is a quick tour. Here we are in the 1980s. Owned by the great Douglas Shield. This wonderful Native American figure with the spirit mountain leading to eternity, that river. So great. That premiered in George's exhibition in Santa Fe, New Mexico. 1986, the fabulous Indians, Cajuns, and cowboys of the West, late 1980s, and the trees spread like eagle's wings. And here is Dr. Clint Brooks from Yale University speaking about all the King's men, Robert Penn Warren and Huey's blood flowing from the Capitol, meeting up with that river. Whoa. The great Louisiana cowboys. I have not seen this in years. Can you tell how big this is? There's a couch for scale. Whoa. Great historical painting about the cattle drives up through the center of Louisiana in the late 1800s to the train where they would ship their cattle back east. We just did a video on this too, so you can watch that for more detail. We've got one of George's really incredible sculptures here. This one was actually at the Blue Dog Cafe in Lafayette, Louisiana when it was there. This is that very one. Great story on how he made the sculptures too, also in our videos. These are from the riverboat trip of 2004. George painted this on the riverboat. And you know what I love? There he is on this video, which is running in here all the time, painting that painting. And Douglas Magnus, my husband today, took that video. Runs almost 2 hours. Come see it at the at the Longview. There's a great show there too, at the Alexandria Museum of Art through June 21st. That is that painting. What's also great on that video is you can hear George talking about his work. The great Neiman Marcus paintings are here. The Millennium, whoosh, 2,000 years of art. And some of the great hurricane paintings. I'll back up a bit so you can see these more. These are huge, tremendous. I love when we can do full hurricane shows and swirl them around the room. And perhaps George's most famous painting, at this time anyway, I think some others are catching up to it, Hawaiian Blues. Yeah, so George would do these Neiman Marcus paintings for catalog covers. So you'd have the back of the painting here with a mass of butterflies that would fly across the spine of a book, the catalog, and form a lei around the dog's neck. These are from the late 1990s, 1998. These are more riverboat paintings. Is the dog on the water, under the water, through the water. Yeah. This is George telling you in case you haven't figured it out yet. Yeah, he makes this stuff up. This is called Alice in Wonderland. Yeah. So good. Alice, you're in Wonderland, this one, which is a wonderful companion to George's last self-portrait. I have spotlighted this also in a video. You should learn about it because it is heavy duty and really great. We have 4 of George's swamp dogs represented here. George did these from photographs he took when we went out on an airboat over multiple visits in the Atchafalaya Basin. And he designed these beautiful works, which were actually not realized until after his death. He left them in a file on his laptop. Wendy, to do. This is the very last painting on George's easel. There were 3. This one was on his easel in New Orleans, in our home. We've got cemetery, a shadow, and his oak trees. It's like he's come full circle, right? And the river opening up, going all the way to a bright horizon. Hope. The only thing he had energy to paint was the hope. These are from George's acrylic landscapes. There is a whole video on these as well, so you can learn all about this, because why are there ghostly dogs too? You see this one gessoed, right? And then you see this barely an outline here where George stopped because he realized what he was covering up. In this case, the start of that golden river leading to that hope. He framed it and hung it on his studio wall to remind himself never to compromise on his art. Watch that video, it's a good one. We've got landscapes throughout this room, the last room of the exhibition. These are all late. You know, so many people think that George stopped painting landscapes when he started painting the blue dog. Not true. There are landscapes in this room all the way from the late 1960s and early 70s, which is what we see here. Look at these, this fabulous piece, important to George, kept on the wall all those years. Looks unfinished, but he framed it. It was finished. And look at this beauty. This is from the permanent collection of the Alexandria Museum of Art where I'm standing. And I tell you, it is one of my favorites. Truly haunting painting instead of the Cajuns glowing from the inside out. We've got this beautiful steamboat glowing from the inside out. And y'all, look at these trees. Whoa. You gotta come see this in person. Loaned from wonderful supporter of these projects, Mr. Randy Haney. Really fantastic. This is an example of George painting to the frame. You know, he would find these frames in junk shops with other people's paintings and discard them, their paintings, and paint to the frame. He wanted his paintings to look as though they had been plucked off the wall of the Louvre. Magnificent early work. This was from that show where George's work was described by Ann Price of the Baton Rouge Advocate as artist makes Louisiana dreary, monotonous plays. She didn't get it. That's a whole other story too. Get more of that in the film, Blue, the Life and Art of George Rodrigue, because it is spotlighted in there on PBS, LPB, and soon to be nationwide. And finally, this is one of George's very last completed paintings. And we have whole videos on this. We just shot a new one. So I'm gonna let you watch that for the details on it, because it is pretty powerful and I can't do it justice in a quick tour. So I wanna thank you for taking this little walk with me. And I want to thank the Alexandria Museum of Art. I want to thank the curators of this exhibition, Dana Holland-Beickert of the George Rodrigue Life and Legacy Foundation, and Olivia Helmer of the Alexandria Museum of Art. Fabulous. I'll be back here again in June, y'all, for more events. So stay tuned. And in the meantime, enjoy life.